Hi, I'm Grant Porter. I'm the CEO of Harry Carey's Restaurant Group. Harry Carey's opened its flagship restaurant in 1987. Over the years, we learned that Frank Nitti, Capone's enforcer, once owned this building. Year by year, we learned more and more of its secrets. Let me take you downstairs to what we call Frank Nitti's vault for a personal tour. This piece here gives some history about Frank Nitti's wife, Annette. Her name was Annette Caravetta Nitti. She was Al Capone's lawyer's secretary. It was said that she knew more about Al Capone's business than Capone did himself. Right here are all of Frank Nitti's original subpoenas from the Cook County criminal court system. So after Al Capone went to jail in 1931 for tax evasion, Frank Nitti took over the leadership of the Chicago mob and ran it until 1943. He had a mission statement. He wanted to control all of the country's entertainment, gambling, and drinking. So Frank Nitti was indicted for extortion of Hollywood, along with Paul Rica and several others. But Frank had been to jail before and found out while he was in jail that he's an extreme claustrophobic. Frank refused to go back to jail, and Paul Rica said, "Look, Frank, either go back to jail or you're gonna get it." Frank took his own life on some train tracks in Riverside. So after Frank died, that's when Annette became one of the most powerful women of the mob era. Shortly after Frank died, she met with Alex Greenberg, who was the mob's accountant. She said, "Hey, you owe me $2 million of Frank's money." Alex refused to give it to her, so she had him gunned down at a restaurant while he was dining with his wife. Then she goes to Alex Greenberg's estate court and gets the money that way. The documents show that Frank Nitti's wife Annette and their son Joseph owned most of the building, and as well as the Caravetta Food Company that operated here. They dealt with Italian food imports. They made Parmesan cheese in the building. The funny thing was, she had told the IRS when Frank Nitti passed away that she didn't have any money. She was completely broke. Well, the documents showed she wasn't broke. She just took all that money and bought out her family members within the building and the business. Down here is a piece showing that Annette Caravetta had at least 7 different aliases she used with the press. Right here is a photo of Frank and Annette's 4th floor apartment. They had an apartment here that had a great view of the criminal courthouse across the street. We found this safe buried in a wall years ago. Unfortunately, there was no money inside of it. Sometimes what happens is customers come down here and put money in it for other customers to find as a joke. We did end up trying to examine the inside of the safe. We took off all the panels. We found that someone had used acid in this one trying to break in. Also, when we opened the chamber here, inside the lock was a 4-leaf clover. I think the lock maker wanted to bring some good luck. Harry Carey's opened up in 1987. 11 years later, an electrician was drilling through this wall to add a conduit, but it went through too quickly, and he realized something is behind that wall. So he got behind it and found an 85-foot room we did not know existed. Let's go back there so you can take a look for yourself. This was the door that we found in 1998 that led to this 85-foot room with 16-foot ceilings. This room was connected to underground tunnels. There was clearly an awning here. This was like the grand entrance from underground. Frank Nitti's friends could come and go without being seen. You know, when Harry Carey's opened, this room here was filled with a lot of old machinery that was left over from the building's previous uses. And what do we find behind the machinery was a bricked-in vault. Let's go take a look. We got in here for the first time. We found this bricked-in vault door. We thought it could either be $1 million behind that door or a dead body. We ended up contacting the Chicago History Museum. They ended up finding old plans that said this was Frank Nitti's vault. So we ran an endoscope through the walls and we found a wooden box. We haven't got to it yet, but the theory is when Frank Nitti died, you know, he was supposed to be worth millions, but they couldn't find any of his money. So our hope is that that's where Frank Nitti's missing fortune is held.